Hey, you guys, we're back. And of course, we got this story here. We got this crazy story about some man who accidentally ended up on a spaceship. So we're going to continue on. Scott, do you remember where we were? We got a fish put in our ear so we could translate stuff. Oh, and the earth got blown up.
Right.
Well, first, the man's house was going to get, demolished. Then his friend came and was like, let's go get a bunch of beer. Let's get trashed.
Yeah.
The earth is about to end. And then then we just ended up on a spaceship somewhere. And now we ended up with a fish in our ear, period.
Okay.
That's what we're doing. Okay, so it's been a day. It's been a day. He's having the day that maybe he doesn't deserve, but he's having a day. A lot of people aren't having days anymore because, the earth got blowed up. So, Okay, so chapter 6. How, gargle, bow, how, gargle, 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 how, gargle, how, slurp, should have a good time. I promise that's what it says.
Okay.
We're going to have to move on from that. It take a minute for that fish to get in your ear so you can understand what people are saying. Mm. Message repeats. This is your captain speaking. So stop whatever you're doing and pay attention.
Oh.
Okay. First of all, I see from our instruments that we have a couple of hitchhikers aboard. Hello, whoever you are. I just want to make it totally clear that you are not at all welcome. Mm-hmm. I worked hard to get where I am today. And I did not become captain of Vogon constructor ship simply so I could turn it into a taxi service for a load of degenerate freeloaders.
Wow.
Okay. Tell us how you really feel, sir. I have sent out a search party, and as soon as they find you, I will put you off the ship. If you're very lucky, I might read you some of my poetry first.
Oh, wow. Does sound lucky.
No, remember they said under no circumstances. Remember the Hitchhiker's Guide said don't let them read you no poetry. Oh. Scott, you would just let them read you poetry, wouldn't you?
No.
Y'all, Scott would just let them read him the poetry.
I thought I was being lucky.
You wouldn't have been, Scott. That's crazy. Listen to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Secondly, we are about to jump into hyperspace for the journey to Bernard Star. On arrival, we will stay in dock for a 72-hour refit, and no one to leave the ship during that time. I repeat, all planet leave is canceled. I've just had an unhappy love affair, so I don't see why anybody else should have a good time. No. Message ends. He a hater.
Yeah, he's a very cheery dude.
You know what they say though. If you got haters, then you're doing it right. So period. Yeah. Ford and Arthur are doing it right because they got this man hating on them, period. Or this alien. The noise stopped. Arthur discovered to his embarrassment that he was lying curled up in a small ball on the floor with his arms wrapped around his head. He smiled weakly. Scott, this is a weak smile.
Okay.
Charming man, he said. I wish I had a daughter so I could forbid her to marry one. You don't need to, said Ford. They got as much sex appeal as a road accident. Okay, girl, they real sexy. No, don't move, he added as Arthur began to uncurl himself. You better be prepared to jump into hyperspace. It's unpleasantly like being drunk. Maybe that's why he was so drunk while he was on Earth. He's like, girl, I'm just going to be in hyperspace the whole time. Mm. What's so unpleasant about being drunk? You asked a glass of water. Arthur thought about this for a moment. Ford, he said, yeah? What's the fish doing in my ear? It's translating for you. It's a babblefish. Look it up in your book if you like. He tossed the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and then curled himself into a fetal ball to prepare himself for the jump. Sir, how are you preparing for the jump and you getting in a fetal position, but you ain't telling this man, like, sir, you can read the book after the hyper jump, after we get away from this man that's trying to throw us off this ship.
Yeah.
You know, but at that moment, the bottom fell out of Arthur's mind. His eyes turned inside out. His feet began to leak out the top of his head. The room folded flat around him, spun around, shifted out of existence, and left him sliding into his own navel. Okay, this is more than drunk. I feel like this is what happens when you take mushrooms. He didn't. Maybe Ford had never taken mushrooms. I don't know. They were passing through hyperspace. The Babelfish, said the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy quietly, is small, yellow, and leech-like, and probably the oddest thing in the universe. It feeds on brainwave energy received not from its own carrier, but from those around it. It absorbs all unconscious mental frequencies from this brainwave energy to nourish itself with. It then excretes into the mind of the carrier a telepathic matrix formed by combining the conscious thought frequencies with nerve signals picked up from the speech centers of the brain, which has supplied them. The practical upshoot of all this is that if you stick a babel fish in your ear, you can instantly understand anything said to you in any form of language. I need one of those. You know what a babel fish is? A earpiece. It's a current day earpiece because this book was written in the 70s. Like, you know how you put an earpiece in and, your headphones? Mm-hmm. That's a babel fish. Because you just get on Google Translator, period. You get on AI. Anyway, sorry, y'all. That's a babel fish. Today's babel fish. The speech patterns you actually hear decode the brain waves matrix, which has been fed into your mind by your babel fish. Now, it is such a bizarrely improbable coincidence that anything so mind-bogglingly useful could have been evolved purely by chance that other thinkers have chosen to see it as a final and clinching proof of the non-existence of God. So having something helpful means that God don't exist. Okay. I love it. Period. Period, y'all. You better see it always. The argument goes something like this. I refuse to prove that I exist, says God, for proof denies faith. And without faith, I have nothing. Sunday Fun Day School, we're going to clear this up. Don't even worry. Sunday Fun Day School, we got this. Oh. Yeah. But, says man, the babelfish is a dead giveaway, isn't it? It could not have evolved by chance. It proves you exist. And so, therefore, by your own arguments, you don't. Oh dear, says God, I hadn't thought of that, and promptly vanishes in a puff of logic. Oh, that was easy, said man. And for an encore goes on to prove that black is white and gets himself unalived on the next zebra crossing. That sounds like men. That sounds like today. No. Turning things upside down and inside out. Most leading theologians claim that this argument is a load of dingoes' kidneys, but that didn't stop Ulan Kubad making a small fortune when he used it as the central theme of his best-selling book. Well, that about wraps it up for God, period. Scott, you need to write that book. Somebody out there write that book. Okay. And then put it in the comment section so I can proofread it for you. I'll read it on here for you. So make that book and I'll read it on here for you. Right on it. And put some makeup on for you. Scott loves it. Don't listen to that. Anyway. Meanwhile, the poor babelfish very effectively removed all barriers to communication between different races and cultures, has caused more and bloodier wars than anything else in the history of creation, period. Not oil or gold or land, period. Arthur let out a groan. He was horrified to discover that the kick through hyperspace hadn't unalived him. He was now 6 light years from the place that Earth would have been if it still existed. At least he coming to terms with it. The Earth. Visions of it swam sickeningly in his nauseated mind. There was no way his imagination could feel the impact of the whole Earth having gone. It was too big. He prodded his feelings by thinking that his parents and sisters had gone. This is the I would look. Let me tell you something. I wouldn't be able to go down this rabbit hole if like I was like the last person living, and the Earth, was gone. I wouldn't. I would be like I would just pretend like everybody was still alive. That's how I would cope. How would you guys cope? Put it in the comment section. Scott, how would you cope?
I just enjoy the peace.
Scott is anti-human. No reaction. He thought of all the people he had been close to. No reaction. Then he thought of a complete stranger he had been standing behind in queue at the supermarket 2 days before and felt a sudden stab. The supermarket was gone. Sir, Arthur don't like people either. Him and Scott. This man upset about the supermarket being gone, but not people.
Sad.
He's probably what, Scott?
Oh, the supermarket.
What about it?
It's probably one of the good ones.
Scott might be gone in a few minutes, in a few sentences. Everyone in it was gone. Nelson's column had gone, and there would be no outcry because there was no one left to make an outcry. You there, sir? From now on, Nelson's column only existed in his mind. England only existed in his mind. His mind. Stuck here in this dank, smelly, steel-lined spaceship, a wave of claustrophobia closed in on him. You're on a ship, sir. How are you claustrophobic? England would no longer exist. He got that. Somehow he got it. He tried again. America, he thought, was gone. He couldn't grasp it. He decided to start smaller again. New York was gone. No reaction. He never seriously believed it existed anyway. The dollar, he thought, has sank forever. Like, sir, didn't they say in the beginning of this book, money ain't even real? So, Slight tremor there. Every Bogart movie has been wiped, he said to himself, and that gave him a nasty knock. McDonald's, he thought. There was no longer any such thing as a McDonald's hamburger. Oh. R.I.P. R.I.P. to McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
In this book, though, because it's out there. There's plenty of them. He passed out. When he came around a second later, he found he was sobbing for his mother. Oh. He jerked himself violently to his feet. Ford! Ford looked up from where he was sitting in the corner, humming to himself. Ford is my hero. Ford just sitting there like, you okay over there? You passed out? You all right? Pick yourself up. Anyway, he always found the actual travel through space part of space travel rather trying. So you hum through it? Yeah, he said. If you're a researcher on this book thing and you were on Earth, you must have been gathering material on it. Well, I was able to extend the original entry a bit, yes. Let me see what it says in this edition then. I've got to see it. Yeah, okay. He passed it over again. Arthur grabbed hold of it and tried to stop his hands from shaking. He pressed the entry for the relevant page. The screen flashed and swirled and resolved into the page of print. Arthur stared at it. It doesn't have an entry, he bursted out. Ford looked over his shoulder. Yes, it does, he said. Down there. See at the bottom of the screen. Just above Electrica Galambits, the triple-breasted whore of Exoticon 6. Ford over here looking for the women, honey. Ford, Where the boom boom room at? Okay, where the boom boom room at? Can I hyper go over to the boom boom room? Arthur followed Ford's finger and saw where it was pointing. For a moment, it still didn't register. Then his mind nearly blew up. Oh boy. What? Harmless? Is that all it's got to say? Harmless? One word? Ford shrugged. Well, there are 100 billion stars in the galaxy and only a limited amount of space in the book's microprocessors, he said. And no one knew much about Earth, of course. Well, for God's sakes, I hoped you could manage to rectify that a bit. Oh, yeah, well, I managed to transmit a new entry off the editor. He had to trim it a bit, but it's still an improvement. And what does it say now? Asked Arthur. Mostly harmless, admitted Ford with a slightly embarrassed cough. Mostly harmless? Shouted Arthur. What was that noise? Hissed Ford. It was me shouting, shouted Arthur. No, shut up, said Ford. I think we're in trouble. You think we're in trouble? Outside the door were the clear sounds of marching feet. The dentist? Whispered Arthur. No, those are steel tip boots, said Ford. Then there was a sharp ringing rap on the door. Then who is it? Said Arthur. Well, said Ford, if we're lucky, it's just the Vogrons coming to throw us into space. And if we're unlucky, said Ford grimly, the captain might be serious in his threat that he's going to read us some of his poetry first.
Oh, wow.
The stuff that Scott was willing to listen to.
Well, one man's trash is another man's trash.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, that concludes chapter 6. What did you guys learn from this chapter? Whatever you learned, put it in the comment section. Scott, did you learn anything from that chapter? I can't find my.
Space is a tough place to get along.
Yeah, but I feel like every place is a tough place to get along. Period.
I said, well, I guess so.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, if I drop you off in the desert, that's a tough place to get along.
Oh, this is true.
If I drop you off in the ghetto. Okay. So what I learned from this is things are absurd. Everything is absurd. Just when what is important to you may not be important to anyone else in the room. So just go with the absurdity. Don't try to control because you're not going to be in control of nothing, child. So just go with it. Just float on down the river like you're on an inner tube. Period. That's what Arthur needs to do and stop panicking.
I agree.
Anything else, Scott?
No. That's all I got.
Okay, guys. Well, with that, we're going to conclude this video so you guys can start your Friday weekend night. As always, we definitely do enjoy you guys coming. Hopefully you enjoyed the story and hanging out with us for this little bit of time. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out some other videos. And with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are to wherever you guys are, peace, love, happiness, and skidamarinky dinky dink. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for It's a Super Scary Saturday Sleepover and probably another chapter of the Hitchhiker's Guide. So with that, we're going to bid you good night. So guys, we'll